What's up, YouTube? This is Jeff Lewis. I know what you want. You want to know how to hit your forehand harder. You want your backhand to be more precise. You want your ground strokes to be more consistent. Listen to me. None of that matters, none of it, unless you understand this one very important principle. This is something that I have to explain to probably 85 to 90% of the tennis lessons I give when I first start working with people. Regardless of ability, doesn't matter. I have to go over this. I just feel like it's something that not a lot of people know about. There's so many myths surrounding it, and it's the moment of impact. That fleeting 4 to 6 1/1000ths of a second that the ball is in contact with your strings. What really happens to create topspin? Yes, topspin I think is absolutely essential. It's a key ingredient to tennis. I don't care how far back you go, people were hitting topspin. Sure, there was slice. Sure, there's other things that happens, but it's fundamental. You got to be able to hit topspin. And there's a lot of myths surrounding how that actually happens. It's completely understandable that there's so many myths surrounding exactly what happens during contact. Human eye can't see it. You can barely feel it. The ball's already off your racket before you get the sensation. There's so many myths surrounding it. Effective topspin is not coming under and over the top of the ball. Effective topspin is not a windshield wiper with the forearm. That's just going to get you a floaty, weak ball. You want to remember 3 key words: rotation, compression, and friction. Friction is what makes the ball go up. Here's what happens. Now, we have to understand why so many people have this scoop and they want to get the ball to go up by the angle of the racket face. If you go back to the very beginning of your development, every beginning player I've ever worked with almost turns the ball racket face up to get the ball to go in the court. Now that works at first until they want to hit the ball hard. So unless we're really given this detailed instruction, we always have this the brain really wants to turn under that ball to get it to go up. But if we look at high-speed video, we see the trajectory of the ball is not determined by the angle of the racket face. It's through friction. Okay, you'll see the ball really pancakes on the strings. The ball can move a little bit on the strings. Angle of the racket face does not change. So the strings look like this. They get nearly vertical contact, and then people even ask me, well, how does the ball go up? Friction. The strings have a grabbing effect on the ball, and they pull it up. This is the only way, knowing that there's nothing you can do during that hit, it's the only way to really feel like you can get down and rip that ball, okay? Once you understand this concept, that there's nothing that you can do at contact or even immediately prior to contact to create effective topspin, you'll start seeing what you really need to be doing, which is just getting the racket hooded below the level of the ball and just launching your arm out to the intended target. So here, and then really just swinging fast. This is going to help you with power, consistency, all those things that you want, you cannot get unless you understand how to generate effective topspin. Here's some symptoms to look out for to see if you really understand topspin or not. Do you feel like you can't really swing out on the ball? Then you're probably scooping. If you're not seeing the ball spin vertically and a lot, really blur, then you might not be truly understanding topspin. If your ball's not heavy, if you're not compressing the ball and rotating the ball, you might not really understand what's going on. Some symptoms of doing it right. Now, just a warning, when you first try to do this, I always have people immediately miss down into the ground because they're trying to keep their racket face more closed. This is perfectly okay. Once that starts happening, you got to figure out a way to get that ball to go up again without opening the racket face. Maybe you got to get lower below the ball. Maybe you need to go through it more to get it to grab more. I can't tell you exactly how much the racket face has to be closed versus exactly how steep you have to hit up, but I can tell you most people are way too open, way too high on the ball, not using friction to get the ball to go over the net. Another thing I notice, people that have done or that do this and have never done it, it'll actually feel bad at first. They actually like the thump feeling. They don't like the idea of an indirect blow. Lastly, I did this once with a lady who's been playing tennis for 35 years and never had this information. She started to do it, in that same class, her string broke. Her face lit up. She said, that's the first string I've ever broken in my life. I can't believe it. When you're doing this, you're gonna get that main string to mush in and move. And if you know, if you're a string breaker, you know you break main strings, not cross strings when you break a string. You should wanna be a string breaker. get the strings to mush and get them to move, and that main string is gonna rub back and forth on that cross string. It's gonna put a little groove in it. You won't be able to see this on camera, but looking at from the side of my racket, there's a groove. You'll hear it pop back in. Okay, so be a string breaker. All right, so get out there. Now, there's not too many good drills for this. It's such a minute, minuscule period of time. You really got to just go out there and experiment. There are some drills that I try with people, you know, intentionally hitting the ball in the ground, figuring out how to hit hard from close up at the net, because you got to get the ball to arc. Figure out a way to learn how to hit more effective topspin. This is the alpha concept. This is all that matters. Until you get this, we can't go on. So I'm gonna be referencing back to this video a lot, but subscribe to the channel. Now that you know that, we are gonna go over some drills, how to hit the ball harder, how to be more precise, how to be more consistent. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I'll see you again soon.